And we're back. You all return to the keep with the exception of Tallithsyr. And yeah, I guess you take a long rest, recover all your health and spell slots. And then I guess you sort of regroup in the morning and talk about how it went.
Yeah, I guess I just fill everybody in on what happened.
Yeah, because there is a lot that happened.
So, you didn't ask for specifics on what she stole and why?
What? Oh, no, I didn't. Which might have been a good idea, but I did do that.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, I won't be there, but like, do that because that could tell a lot. Like, I don't know, maybe she was just stealing food. Or stealing something with the intention of selling it to buy food. In which case, it's probably better than it sounds.
Well, it's still theft, so it's still...
It is.
Can't go entirely on...
Yeah,
you know.
I'm not saying don't punish her, I'm just saying, like, context.
There is one slight issue. Because there's only one reason why I might not want to go too easy on her. Although I guess she was blackmailed.
What?
Well, because I feel like if we just let her completely off the hook, or like let her off too easy, people would be more inclined to help out the
I mean, we only let her off easy because she didn't want to help them.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Also, why would that make people more inclined to help out?
Well,
I'm
like,
assuming stayed the group that I immediately forgot his name leading.
Band of Aspects.
Yes, the Band of Aspects.
Well, like it raises the bar for what would be considered acceptable blackmail.
Except it's not.
Actually, no, as in not acceptable blackmail, but as in what would be required to blackmail someone.
I think what he's... Do you mean like...
No, okay, so let me put it this way. Like, let's say if you helped them, you knew you'd end up, in... Okay, I'm not saying this is what we're going to apply, but you'd end up in jail for a year. But like they're threatening just to tell your wife that you cheated on her if you don't help, for example. If there were no real consequences, you might be inclined to be like, well, like, how bad can it be? But if you realize that there are actual consequences, I feel like we don't need a high bar, but we need something. Because I don't think
really,
it's not so much about punishing the people right now. I feel like I guess we could just do it with awareness of some kind.
I mean, really, the thing is or the better solution, I think, maybe to just address the root of the issue, which is the people who are doing the blackmailing.
Yes, but that's kind of like saying, like, I feel like that's not really a plan, like a tangible plan. Like, the goal in the end is always to achieve that.
We have them all here, or in the town. As far as we know, that's everybody.
Well, no, I think...
I guess that is true.
Grim is right, though, in the sense she can't go completely unpunished.
How about
But like, I'm just saying that because of the situation of her being blackmailed, that the punishment should be less severe than someone who was doing it willingly.
how about this? We let her like off semi easy, and if the group returns, then we'll be stricter from there on out.
Vondal like raises a hand to interject and says, "I don't mean to be rude, but we're not going to be the ones deciding who gets punished for what. We can say our
No.
piece, but
we will have, like, depending on, like, if it goes to the elves, there's bugger all we can do. We can maybe, say some things. However, I feel like we are best off just leaving it to them. Maybe maybe a request that we hear the results.
I mean,
However, if like, for example, the lady that got blackmailed, I'm not sure if she will be handled over here or over there.
well, I
And
mean,
and how we frame it will have great impact on, or like our perspective, like the perspective that we give it can have a great impact on how she will be judged.
I doubt unlike the others, she's not a citizen of the Elven kingdoms. So I imagine she'd still be tried here as a citizen of the town.
Most likely.
that's what my guess would be."
But yes, but like I was saying, considering our status with the local guard, I'm sure, like, if we say something, they will take it into actual consideration as opposed to just being like, sure, whatever, just shoving us away.
I would like to wonder now. Is there any more details we should be adding to the letter?
Well,
Or do you want me to keep it as is?
the awkward thing is that I kind of said we hadn't gotten the entire group. You know what?
Well, I guess we.
I
sort
will
of
quickly. I will quickly make I'll make an addendum that we have captured the rest of the. We think we have captured the rest of the group for now.
And sorry, carry on.
And
yeah, I was going to say, and where exactly do you want me to take this? Do you want me to just take it to the government building and say it's for the council?
That is kind of what we planned. What I decided to do is, I guess I already sealed the letter, but which is a little inconvenient. But we can deal with that. What I said is basically we hand them the letter, or we tell them what it's for, and you'll have to maybe spend a little bit of time figuring out where it's supposed to go.
I'll just ask at the government building.
Like it's addressed to the council, and I've given them a month to reply in any way, shape, or form they deem necessary or appropriate, including or potential, like including the potential to contact us with a message through Elenia. What's
Elenia.
Yeah.
Lady of Falkia.
Yes. If it be deemed necessary. Honestly, I feel like beyond that, there is not much else we can do. If they don't care, I guess in a month's time we'll know. And if they do care, we'll still know.
Yeah. Speaking of sending a message, I should probably do that.
Well, you aren't you gonna head over today?
Well, yeah, but if I want to guarantee landing there,
Oh, well, yeah.
The circle, don't.
It's
Well, that's
common courtesy to let people know you're about to teleport into their buildings, or at
Yes.
least I assume it is.
Yeah, and especially given that it's not exactly cheap to get one of those.
Oh, I
And
wasn't
and
aware
it's
that
hidden
you were,
away enough.
I wasn't aware you're going to use the circle itself, because
Well, if I don't, there's no 100% guarantee I'll arrive in the intended destination. Technically,
yes.
I was slightly off when me and Gorgo went home yesterday.
Hmm.
Not by much, but we did have to walk a little ways. But
Well,
a
if
teleport circle or having something from there is a more guaranteed method of getting them. In fact, it is
well,
guaranteed.
if you well, you may ask, and if you get refused, you can always just not use the circle, I guess.
Yeah.
And yes. Well, let
But yeah.
me add like I'm just gonna undo the seal and just add a little note at the bottom.
Great. P.S.
Yes.
Got them.
Or perhaps I will. No,
Captured
do you know what
another-
I'll do? I'll grab a separate piece of paper
Yeah,
and
then
roll
drop
it
that
inside
around
the other.
Yeah.
This is way too damn complicated.
Well, no, because
Just
on
write
two
the
sheets of
fucking
paper,
letter.
you've got a letter, and then you've got the extra letter.
Yeah, you've got an
Yeah.
addendum. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, Vondal sort of says, so if Elizabeth's doing that, then great. My question is, what are the rest of us going to do? Because my plan was sort of, well, at first it was going to be work out what we're going to do about the rest of this organization, but seeing as they there don't seem to be a problem anymore, I'm wondering what our next step is.
Get the new castle up and running.
Well, I guess we can.
That's not a day job.
Well, no, I know, but like, now that they are taken care of.
Well, there are some
Alternatively,
things.
like, there is still the question. You could still question them more. Maybe there is more of them that might be coming this way. He might sure, Asterian's their leader, but he might not be an overall leader. He might just be a local leader.
Well, I just want to warn you guys that not to get too attached to them, because we are still. Well, I did offer to hand off the prisoners.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying talk to them while you can.
Well, I guess if Bondal wants to look into that, that's fine. However, there are things that we should that might require a little more looking into as to how they're going to be done. But these will not be day jobs either. These will be.
Kind of why I asked. I was wondering if there was anything we wanted to do on a short timescale.
On a definitely shorter than the castle timescale, but we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to start to figure out where. Well, I guess the question is, I don't know if we'd already know that kind of stuff. Like, where would you go to find diplomats and veteran mercenaries and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we do have spots for certain new staff.
Well, if it's mercenaries you want, then, well, the standard way is you send out flyers and things to nearby cities. You get it shouted about in the streets. Generally, they come to you. At least, that's what I understand.
Yeah, but like that usually gets you to riffraff. Yeah, not to. Well, not to be rude or anything, but like,
well,
I guess, but I guess that is the only good option.
The only other option is Where are hubs that adventurers gather?
Yes.
I mean, if you want, someone who's best of the best,
And what?
sort of turns to turns to Gogo, who presumably is somewhere in here.
Gogo is
Yes.
probably not part of the
Yeah.
briefing.
Oh
Well,
right. Oh, I didn't
yeah,
realize. I thought this was just a casual conversation.
Well, as great as Gorgo is, she has also clearly stated that she prefers to have someone with a bit more, leadership. Provides leadership in the field. And I feel like we might, depending on how I want this to be a flexible team, someone that could deal with these local bandits like Arya could. So we don't have to like babysit every little thing that's like slightly above, the average man's
Well-
ability or woman.
Well, if you think about it, we've already got 2 people who can think of that. We just need fighters and people who can back them up.
Hmm.
Like, Sedani's pretty good at giving orders.
I think there's a call for both, to be honest. We need
Yeah.
troops. Well, we're going to need people to staff a castle, but it also wouldn't be a bad idea to bring in more, not necessarily senior, but at least experienced warriors.
Yeah.
I was hoping,
That's-
Grim, that you'd have more of a suggestion as to where we might find them, seeing as you, grew up in an adventurer's tavern, but...
Yeah. Well, like taverns would definitely stop by there. However,
Hey, we might even find someone in Ivywood Market.
I would consider our odds pretty low. Honestly, my best bet right now is I don't know how big the whole I need to remind myself of the name. Desert place.
Mardan?
Was it Ardan?
Mardan was
Mardan.
the
Oh, Mardan.
the
Yes, Mardan.
independent city, yeah.
Yeah. Because there were a bunch of adventurers heading there. I don't know if that's still happening.
That was for the Forbidden City.
Yes.
Well, also, though, Ivywood Market here has had its fair share of problems, and that tends to be where adventurers go.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've kind of monopolized the whole problem-solving market recently.
Yeah,
True.
most of the problems here do not really have big cash rewards or promise of glory or
Except for the the dragon. But
Yeah,
but by
although,
now
to be fair,
people
neither did rescuing a bride and her bridesmaids.
Hmm.
There are some individuals who don't care about that.
that
As
is
long as
true.
they can eat at the end of the day.
However, I feel like that would be I hate calling it or saying it like that, but that would be our Sedani and Facera projects. Like they have potential, but they're not veterans, and that's kind of what we need. Potential is great and all, but it's also very resource intensive, and we won't have and they won't be up to what would you call it, standard.
and no offense to present company, but we kind of want people who are good at taking orders.
Wow.
That would be helpful. I do have one idea for example, although we might have to be a little cautious about doing it. Like having another spellcaster around the place wouldn't be the worst. And we know one place where there's a lot of magic.
College?
Yes. I would admit that this would not qualify as an actual veteran in some ways. However, I feel like when it comes to mages, you can't be as picky.
Yeah, they tend to be few and far between, and around here you won't find many that are as schooled as those who are, well, rich enough to go to the academy.
So, I mean, I guess that's something I could do while I was up there if I stayed up there.
Yes.
In fact, it'd probably easier if I stayed up there just thinking about the teleporting back and forth, because then I don't have to keep asking for permission to use the circle every day.
That is actually a very valid point.
Well,
So if I
sure,
stay over there,
surely you're not going to do all your research in a single day, so
exactly.
I think this is a
Yeah.
Especially not if
slightly
you
more
want me to-
longer-term project.
Yeah, especially if you want me to deliver that letter, and also potentially, if you really do want to find someone up there who's willing to come back.
Hmm.
Though I've no idea how I'd start looking on that subject.
I think that's something to ask the instructors.
Yes. Also, I feel like
True,
if
true.
we're going to ask up there, we do need to do that with their permission, because I do not
Oh,
want
yeah, of
to
course.
jeopardize our position with the college.
Of course.
And if I'm
Yeah,
being
just talking
honest,
with
the best
instructors and Lady Afelkia, maybe.
Yeah, if I'm
Hmm.
being honest, the best judge of magical ability is probably the person who has some experience.
That is true.
Right. So yeah, have we? I'm assuming we've all had breakfast then, if we're having a briefing.
Yeah. Um.
Well, in that case,
Man, I honestly kind of wish we could just throw a big tournament and have 1,000 gold as prize money, and then see who we can recruit from there.
that does
Is
sound
there a
that does sound
reason
pretty
we
ambitious.
can't?
I feel like the only limitation might be time. Although I guess
It would also draw.
I wouldn't
attention to
have to
ourselves.
supervise it. I guess if anything happened, we could always just go do our own thing and then rely on, well, you and perhaps Sarah and Sadani to look out for some talent. But throwing a tournament, maybe 1,000 gold is a bit excessive. But
Yeah, I was going to talk about the size of the prize, but
it needs to be sufficient that people are willing to travel.
so here's a suggestion. We want to offer them a big gold prize, and at the end of the day, we don't want them to just take the gold prize and go home. We want to keep them. So
It would be nice.
why don't we make that part of the reward? I mean, we're starting to get a reputation, and it's not a minor one in any way. So, a sufficient
People
chunk of
really are.
gold and a chance of an audition. Audition's the wrong word. Interview.
Yeah.
For our organization. I don't think that's a half bad idea.
Yes.
No.
I think it will definitely cover the. Well, we might actually get some battle mages in here as well.
If you have other plans, then I can organize that. I'm happy to have your input. If you want to do it yourself, that's also fine.
You should probably have different categories regarding magic, I think.
Well, there'll be rules.
Well, we'll think of how we want to attract people once we do it. But yeah. What do you guys think? Are you guys up for organizing a competition, looking at the rest of the party?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Sounds like it would work.
It's definitely a way to attract attention.
I'm half tempted to open it up to the recruits as well.
You know what? I feel like if they want a chance to prove themselves, they should have that chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Though,
just don't hope they embarrass us too much.
Now I'm wondering if
give them some credit.
Yeah. Also, now I'm wondering if we'd be able to stop Sedani and Thalithsyr from signing up if they wanted to.
Yeah, they would be free to join. As would any of you, I guess. However, I guess no, we should
We-
keep you guys
No,
out.
I think we should keep out of
That
it.
seems
feel-
like a bad idea.
That
that
seems
does
like
feel-
we'd be way
Yeah,
too strong.
keep us to a judge's role.
I don't
Yeah,
want anyone accusing us of rigging the competition. I mean,
yeah, that was also what I was thinking when I said it.
I won't lie, a lot of us are toting fairly powerful magical artifacts, and I feel like that might give us a bit of an unfair advantage in a average show tournament.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, that's assuming we will allow magical artifacts.
Mm.
Although I feel like that.
Or actual weapons, for that matter.
Oh, we'll figure out the details. But
I wasn't thinking the magical weapons so much as the other aspects, but yes,
Yeah,
good
like,
point.
You
Yeah.
know. Well, I know that. This sort of gets me out of a jam sometimes, and she just produce her little stone of good.
Yeah.
And all I have to do to get the magic from this is have it in a pocket. It's not exactly hard to.
well,
I am aware of how magic items work.
Well, yeah, I know, but like I'm just saying, some are easier than others.
I think like the more I think about it, I feel like we should definitely allow magic items. It may seem a bit unfair to those who don't own any. However, if we think they have potential and they end up losing because they didn't have a magic sword but the other guy did, we can always ask them for an interview anyway. Or
Well, yeah, I suppose the grand prize is the cash, but like, I guess anyone could feasibly get a chance at an interview.
yeah.
I mean, it would be foolish of us to only interview the person who won.
Yes,
Exactly.
no. And the main reason I want to allow magic items is if they have their own magic items, that is quite the asset to bring into the guild or into the Amber Eagle.
Vondar like runs a hand over his back and goes, I'm not surprised you're the one suggesting that.
It's almost as if he's got a fairly predictable personality. Not saying that that's a bad thing in any way.
Mm.
If
But yes,
in many ways it's a good thing.
But no, that's
Wow.
I'm still thinking how we'll do we separate the archer? Like, do we separate archers and
Well, yeah.
the?
Look,
We
Well, surely the
can
way you
work
do a
on the
tournament is
rules.
well, surely the way you do a tournament is by having different events.
Yes.
No tournament's ever only had one. There's obviously a main event, but there's lots of side events.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
individual duels. There's a grand melee. There's a
There's-
joust or whatever.
There's only one. There's only one
You can have an archery
aspect that I'm
competition.
struggling with our tournament. Even though it's not a necessity, like I still think it would be a good idea.
Mhm.
Could we attract trackers and rangers and that sort of people?
You could have a hunt.
Because as much as mercenary work often is just go kill the bad guy or kill the monsters in the forest.
I mean,
Like
yeah, you could
I'd
always
say, like the especially Arya's ability to track and
yeah,
occasionally blend into the environment.
Well,
Has
an army
been
needs eyes.
has been
And
mighty
and
helpful.
scouts are that eye. Yeah, like I said, different events. You could have the hunting competition of some description. That would certainly attract, well, trackers and hunters if that's what you're after.
Perhaps.
But I think since I'll leave you, with your permission, Grim, I'll leave you all to discuss the tournament and start
Yes,
packing
just
for Arcantalaran.
yeah, just don't forget the letter. It's important, of
yeah.
course.
I mean, is the letter here? I mean, if the letter's here now, then she'll make a show of picking it up and taking it.
Just remember to actually deliver it when you get there.
It'll be the first thing I do, sir.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well,
and
you
then
go. You go back.
Yeah, and then she'll like give a salute and walk out the door. And as soon as she's out the door, she'll give a sending message to Lady Felkir requesting permission to use the teleportation circle in about an hour.
Okay. Lady Falco sort of agrees and says, "Of course, yeah. Please come along. Thank you for letting me know."
Yeah, and then she'll start gathering stuff she'll need and say her goodbyes to people.
Cool. Meanwhile, in the middle of the briefing, Vondal turns back and says, "So, Elizabeth's got plenty to do. Grim and I have got some ideas to run through. What are you two up to?"
That is a fantastic question.
I feel like we've got a lot of plans and ideas, but I'm not sure Elizabeth can do all the research on her own. There's still some options out there if people want to investigate.
I mean, I don't know if Arya and I are exactly the most skilled in certain types of investigation, but I, for one, would be more than willing to go out and not be stuck here anymore.
What were the others? The other groups that Elizabeth was talking about? Because it wasn't just books. There was some sorcerer and an order of Goliaths or something.
Yeah. But well,
I mean, if we wanted to find more information about the sorcerer Visastrus, did I write that name down right?
Yes, Visastrus.
Okay. Visastrus, probably the best place to look for information is, well, back in Dragonborn lands, at least without having to go to books for that. So, but that's a bit of a trek.
Yes, well, and besides the trek, there is also, it's you.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, wait, I'm like thinking, didn't you get, like last time we went, you got some, I wouldn't quite call it looks, but it's definitely noted, your presence.
I mean, in a city proper, I'm going to stand out less than any of you are, probably.
That's true.
Yeah, if you're going to places like the Platinum Throne, nobody in the Platinum Throne is going to know who you are.
Yeah, I was like, nobody fucking knows me there. Like, they only know me because, yeah.
Yeah, the problem you have is every place that you've been to is a small town where Kelariis is well known.
Fair.
Like,
But
you went to the two places she's ever had a significant impact. One where she was born and one where she became a hero.
Yeah. Well, like, even out in sea, like the Greysurge was, was it the Greyslayer?
Yeah, but they didn't quite have that correct.
Well,
and to be honest, in most places we go, I doubt we'll be seeing many people who are calling me Greyslayer.
Many chromatics.
Well, I won't doubt your judgment on that. I've got no
again,
experience.
it is a very far journey, and I don't know if that's quite where we want to.
Also, if you find any capable Dragonborn out there.
Look, Grim, if you really want to recruit Dragonborn, you're going to have a bit of a hard time getting most of them away from the army.
No, I'm aware, but hey, if you don't try, you never win.
Vondal sort of says, I know time is a bit of a concern, but thinking realistically about this, it could be days or weeks or even months before we're looking at having a picture of where it is that we're going. I mean, we're looking to staff a castle and whatever, but even if all of a sudden Elizabeth comes back in 3 days' time with something brand new, some revelation that sends us on our way straight away, I don't see any reason why she can't go hopping around and pick everyone up.
Well, isn't there the slight issue of that if she doesn't know the place, it's, well, risky?
That's true, but in an emergency. And there are ways around it.
Well, I guess currently like, I guess if it comes to it, we can always, we'll figure it out, I guess. Even if you have to pay a bag of gold to a wizard, like, I'm sure we'll find out. I'll figure it out. That said, probably take ample gold with you on your trips. And that made me think, Arya, because we haven't seen Fee in quite some time, and not quite sure when we're going to see her. Would you be up for finding her?
I guess so.
Admittedly, I don't know how easy it is to
Yeah, I
track
don't know how
someone
easy it
on
would be
a,
to find her.
especially considering the flying broom doesn't leave a lot
Yeah.
of tracks.
Tracking is going to be hard if there's no tracks because she's flying.
Well, I might be able to make that a little easier.
Oh.
Well, we have plenty of things that belong to her still here. Gifts, etc. I can find out where she is. After that, it's just a case of going to where I last saw her and working from there.
Or you could also just politely ask, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
About that. I've messaged her a couple of times, and while she's been chatty, she's been... I don't want to say reluctant, but anytime I've asked her where she's at, she's been a bit tight-lipped about it. I think this is just me suppositing here, but I think she's worried that we're going to try and step in to help on her quest. And I think she's still wanting to prove to herself that she can do it by herself.
Well, then do we even want to find her?
I mean, if she can help.
Well, she's our only lead, but if you don't want to do that, I guess you can either... well, I was going to suggest you could join Kelariis, but if you thought you stood out here, then you're probably going to be, you're definitely going to be noticed in the Dragonborn land.
I mean, they're not exactly going to do anything about it.
I guess that's true.
If Arya wants to come along, I won't say no.
I mean, I don't mind coming along. Would it just be you alone? Because if so, then I would definitely want to come with you.
Part of me considered taking Tallithsyr with, but I'm not really sure. I think Tallithsyr may be better off staying here, just as a thought, as a player. I mean, I'm not sure. I'd have to talk to Tallithsyr and see, unless anybody else here has strong feelings about her staying or not. But really, at the end of the day, she'll have to make her own decision about it.
Yeah.
Vondal sort of shrugs and says, she answers to you.
She answers to herself. She just happens to me.
Just happens to align most of the time. How does it?
She just she just happens to put a lot of stock, I think, into the things that I say.
Well, just remember that if you bring her along, she will have to. Well, if she's going to help you, she's going to have to learn a lot about what's going on and know everything, almost everything at least.
I mean, I personally don't have an issue with telling her.
Okay.
She definitely knows more than just the average person around here.
Well, just just making sure. Like, I don't have any objections myself, but yeah, it's it can be a burden.
Yeah, the involvement is always well. I think she probably should know a bit more anyway, regardless. But I'll talk to her. Arya, you're more than welcome to come along, regardless of if it's just me or if the Sierra is also joining me.
Oh,
I think that might be better. I like the idea of seeing V again, but if she's not ready to come back yet, I don't want to track her down and make her feel like more like she's that we
Yeah.
don't value her skills.
Probably won't appreciate that much, but
God damn it, Rob! Fuck's sake!
What? What did I do? Oh, that. Yeah, no, I did that.
Yeah, you did that.
What did you do? I don't know. What did you do?
Dave will never
I
know.
was gonna make a joke about like bro road trip, but you know,
Bro
we are
trip.
going on a bro road trip.
it's true.
This is definitely a bro trip.
Bro trip.
Bro trip.
Oh.
Bro trip. Bro trip.
There is there. Well, I guess we should still figure out what you're going to be doing. I guess if you don't have anything to do, you're free to join anyone, really. And what you
Yeah, I
wanna
don't
do.
really have anything specific.
Unless you fancy taking down a tribe of Goliath.
Yeah.
Not really on my own.
I can't blame you for that.
Yeah.
And considering that would be going into territory that none of us are really familiar with, it's probably best if we all go together, or at least as big of a group as possible.
Yeah.
Plus, you might be a pale elf, but you're not a snow elf.
Wow.
Dang.
No, she is.
I'm literally.
Yeah, she literally is.
She's a winter Eladrin. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you know,
She literally is a
Grim
snow
doesn't
elf.
care. She hasn't been in snow.
Because Grim's
Wow.
a racist.
I mean, she literally makes a frost blast when she teleports.
Yeah.
True.
It's fair.
Oh, that is true.
My blade literally
But,
puts out
like-
fires when I draw it.
But yeah, well, like in all the time that we've been together, we haven't really seen much of your
You
wintry
literally
side.
went to my homeland and met my parents and saw where I lived growing up.
Yeah, but it wasn't snowy and stuff.
Because it wasn't winter.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
So we've
like
avoided
the
it.
start it was like the start of autumn.
It's fine.
Anyway,
Grim doesn't
Anyway.
understand the turn of seasons unless he sees it.
Grim doesn't
Oh,
understand the
no.
concept of seasons.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Fuck's sake.
but no, like it's definitely a different environment. Like forest in the winter or just barren mountain landscape
Yeah.
and
But
ice
anyway.
plains.
I am literally a snow elf, so there's that.
Fine.
well, I suppose that settles it then.
Does it? But what did we settle on?
Well, everyone's sort
going
of
with
got a
cars.
plan.
Oh yeah. Okay, good. There is one tiny thing. It might be a bit odd, but this would be for you, Vandal. Or at least you would be probably the one to know. Considering the attack on Triferion, do you have any way of putting out some feelers in case? Well, I guess we will hear about it if somebody loses contact with their gods. But if anything were to happen to any god, I want to know.
That's a tall ask, but
Like, I'm guessing, like the the best way I can think of is just like, or maybe we can just place someone in, or get someone to inform us if people start losing powers. Because I feel like once priests stop healing, or something along those lines, people will talk. Unfortunately, we do not have a big religious presence in old
Every
Yeah.
market, yeah.
Babywood Market.
Yeah.
The other thing
Honestly,
that I worry is that it may be a more gradual loss of power.
well, if that's what you're concerned about, then if the theories are correct, that's been happening for a long time. But I know what you mean. Honestly, there's a million things that I wish we could keep track of right now, and I wish we had more people out there listening out for things.
Yes, so do I. But I feel the problem is I feel like we need to get someone that we can at least somewhat trust. Although maybe we can just how much could it be to ask someone like a local guard to give us an update of the local events every couple like once or twice a week? Maybe once a week would be enough.
It's probably a guard, Grim. How much could it cost? 40 gold?
Well, like
Also, why
maybe a
ask
year,
guard?
40 a year, and then and then he has to buy the materials for the letter.
Anyway.
That's not where you
We're
send.
not even that far from the town.
No, but like I'm not talking about the town. I'm talking about like
Oh, like
all the other
everywhere.
Yeah.
Silverhelm. No, not Silverhelm.
Silverhelm?
Silverhelm.
Look, it's fine.
Okay, what I wish
Silver.
that we had done, what I wish that we had done is kept track of all of the names that Grim called things that were just not correct.
That was just
Yeah.
wrong.
Okay,
Like
we
just
need to-
written them down.
Someone do that. Someone do that now. He's just
Look.
merged two places together and come up with Silverhelm.
No, the
Anyway.
problem is Silverhelms is like a type of cavalry in a game.
Yes.
Great.
Stop playing Total War.
Anyway.
It's fine.
Yeah, flippant comments aside, Vondal says, well, I suppose that's something we should get together and rack our brains about while we're thinking about this tournament, because maybe we can leverage something.
Perhaps. Because, well, like, we wouldn't. I feel like initially we don't need any. What I'd call secret. Well, I don't need necessarily secret information. We just need general information about what's happening.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about setting up a spy network or anything. I'm just talking about finding people who are more clued in to the general happenings of the world than we are. I mean, there are people who are career gossips. Believe me, I've
That
met
is
one or
true.
two of them. But having somebody like that who has the nous for what's important and what's nonsense, that could be useful.
That would be very useful.
Let's put our heads together. I might
I'll
know a
figure
few
it out.
people.
Oh. Well, I guess heads get put together.
Yeah. So oh, okay, yeah, hang on. As you are having this conversation, you are interrupted by Elizabeth coming back. Gav.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
just like, just had a sudden thought. I probably shouldn't take the only copy of this, so I quickly scribbled down the notes I made from what Dretharian told.
Oh, yeah, she actually gives you a
Oh.
copy of the...
Yeah, that would be appreciated.
So
Yeah.
let me just I'm just gonna paste it in the second age chat. There are certain details I need to add and omit. There we go.
Oh, yeah, that list again. Yeah.
I read written in a hasty hand, and I was like, that's just what my notes look like. I feel
Yeah.
very attacked
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah.
Well, considering the amount you're able to write down, like, it's basically a necessity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. My notes are either completely legible or just like I can barely read my notes when I go back like a week later. So
Yeah.
really fun
Yeah.
flipping through my notebooks is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Would it
Feel that
happen to
pain,
depend on how intense the moment was?
probably.
Or how much information is being given to us in like a short span of time where I'm just furiously trying to scribble everything onto like the page.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Quite a lot of the lore stuff that I explained to you guys goes. It doesn't go in my notes. It goes straight from brain through mouth with a few bullet points. So
It's like, yeah,
Respectable.
like this is the important stuff, and now just add some extra
Yeah.
dressing, and it's fine.
Add some extra dressing. God.
It makes it presents it a little nicer.
lore mayo.
Lore May.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah, I think with that, Elizabeth's pretty much ready. So she runs around the rest of the keep, says goodbye to everyone that she knows by name, and then
Okay.
goes to Agiad.
Okay. Soup. Yeah, and I think unless anyone has a scene that they want to do, that is a fairly good point for us to break the session and have our hiatus to have a bunch of solo or possibly now potentially duo sessions for a short time. Not next week, obviously, because everybody's away, but moving forwards at some point, whether it be a Sunday session or whether it be another day session, we can explore some of these leads and see where people get.
Yes.
Should be fun.
Bro trip.
Road
trip.
trip.
Yes.
Road trip.
Okay. Well, this was interesting. This wrapped up in a way that I did not expect. So,
Yeah.
But when do we ever wrap up things in a way that you expect?
no, that is
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah, we've got to keep you on your toes.
I also did not expect a tournament to come out of all this.
No,
No.
me either.
Who
But
did?
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Ferrous gets to make all the NPCs.
God, Vondal's gonna
Oh.
lose his shit planning that though. Like, he's gonna be
Well-
so stressed.
The good
Hey,
thing is,
Vondal's planned stressful things before.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that doesn't mean he's not gonna get stressed planning new things.
True.
yeah.
Yeah, he's used to it at least. He's got the experience.
Also, there's going to be a bit of a time scale on it because, like, first we need to organize or like figure out how to do it. Then we need to send out like I want to say invites, but it's not quite invites now, is it?
Well, yeah,
Spread
you
the
need to
word.
spread the word.
Yeah.
Then you need a place to actually hold all the
Well,
events.
And we're going to have to give people at least 2 to 3, maybe more weeks to actually get here.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I immediately have the visualization of like Grim's like coming out of the war room after like doing some planning, and Vondal's like coming up the stairs like, "Oh, Grim, I finished writing up the rules for the tournament." Hands Grim the scroll. Grim like goes to open the scroll, drops the bottom half of the scroll, and just rolls down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, honestly.
You're gonna want to be a little more concise. See, this is why having split events would make that easier, because you only have to come up. You don't have to try and balance things. You don't have to try and like keep things equal through a constant stream of rules. You can keep things equal by, putting two people who fight the same way against each other.
Also, though, I will say
Yeah, well.
that there is merit to having mixed events, especially for like
No, yeah, there is.
combat against each other, because
Well-
obviously you're not always going to be matched against people who have the exact same set of
Well,
skills.
yeah,
that you do.
but that's what the melee is for.
Yeah,
That's
because
what, that's what the melee's for in a tournament. That's where you throw everyone in together in one big massed fight.
but what about the guy with his like trident and net? It's like nobody else uses that, so it's like just stands there.
You just
Well, he's-
automatically win.
Okay,
You
I
just
don't,
auto win.
I don't mean like exact fucking weapons.
No,
Calm
I
down.
know.
I mean like the magic they separate the different levels of magic user.
Well, like I feel like separating the different levels of magic
Well, yeah,
user
but you
is
know what I mean,
already like
separate
the whole
separate
point
the
of
magic users.
yeah. Because like that's the whole point of the magic tournament, or not the. Well, I guess it would be
Yeah.
part of the magic
Like,
tournament.
yeah, this is the thing. You have separate
Yeah.
events and you have conjoined events. That way, people know. People who think that having the magic against them would be unfair don't have a way to complain at you.
Oh man, do you know what the problem is with all these sub events? Suddenly, that like 1,000 gold, prize is going to turn into the prize pool for like all the events combined.
Yeah, probably, but yeah, that's like I said. Like you have, like one-on-one fights for the different categories. You can have like an archery tournament. You have like a big grand melee. Like, that's how a good old medieval tournament would go. Although, of course, I'm not sure we want a joust.
No.
So our main event would probably be the melee.
Well, I think that the main event is definitely going to be some kind of free. Well, maybe not quite a free for all, but like
Yeah, big teams.
it's the event where everybody gets in.
Yeah.
And then we have the.
Oh, yeah,
the-
what you do is you take all the people who've signed up for it and split them into like 2, maybe 4 teams, and just have them go at each other.
Multi-man melee.
Yeah, because that's basically what a medieval melee was. They split the knights into teams and went go ham.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just got to make sure to include a little safe zone, because they also had that. Just a little zone you can stand in. It's like, no, you can't touch me in here.
This
Oh,
is my no-no.
it just feels so funny.
Yeah. You just get to the end and there's like one poor wizard like standing there and there's like 4 people in plate mail standing like on each side of this little area, just like, come on. To be fair
Just
though, that's probably the
do
point where
it.
you'd call it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll figure out the exact details. But
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the biggest worry is that we're going to end up with like just 2 very powerful, like just a powerful mage versus somebody else in the end, and they're just going to like throw a fireball burning half the audience.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing that you have rules against.
Yeah, but like on one hand, you see why there are rules against it. On the other hand, it would seem unfair to deny
Yeah.
the fireball.
Well then, what you do is you just have a bigger, more open space for the wizards. Don't have the crowd quite so close. That's your fault for making everyone stand so goddamn close to the fight, knowing full well what magic is capable of because you've seen it.
Now I'm just imagining some knight complaining to Grim, like being put up against a wizard, and Grim's like, "Hey, do you want to see this thing that I made this morning?" And he's like, sure." And then Grim just produces the world's smallest violin.
You know what you could probably do? It's a little music box that plays the world's smallest violin.
Yes.
I made this. It's the world's smallest violin for all the fucks that I give.
Yeah, and then it starts playing
Our
really sad
pocket-
Do you
songs.
know how many wizards I've had to man fight?
Man.
Let me play you a sad
Actually,
song
like,
on the
think
world's
about it.
smallest violin.
Like I feel like the others mostly have taken care of the wizards.
Yeah,
I
but they don't
just-
have to know that.
I have been hit by a lot of the wizards, but
Yes.
Well, yeah, so exactly.
that's something else.
Yeah, but you still know what it feels like.
Yeah, fair.
Don't feel great.
You've still been caught in a cone of cold. Actually, no,
Yeah.
you weren't in the cone of cold.
No,
were you?
No,
he was the
actually
only
was
one that
not.
wasn't.
I was strategically placed outside.
Strategically placed my ass, Grim.
Yeah, that was just
Strategically
pure
placed
luck.
because of your 25 feet movement speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strategically placed because you slow bitch.
Well, on top of that, I also just took the corridor that was the longest. So the slowest character in the longest
Yeah.
corridor.
Yeah, it
be
was
fair,
unfortunate.
You don't have to be the slowest character anymore.
Well, also,
Really, but-
although on top of that, I did go and stand in front of one of the exits because they went invisible.
Yes.
You did.
You just happened to be lucky about which exit you chose.
Yeah, you chose well.
Uh,
We chose poorly.
Well, it was more
See-
that the exits were spaced apart that he couldn't hit both of you, but
yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Honestly, I feel like it's just Grimm's innate luck.
Yeah.
Which now he actually has embodied in a feat.
yes.
Yeah.
I literally cannot wait for your IRL luck to combine with the actual lucky feet
No.
luck.
See, that's gonna mean that it's completely pointless.
See,
Because it always rerolls always are, or almost always.
I'm just waiting for the moment where you in your in a critical moment you just roll 2 natural ones on an advantage roll, and then you're like, lucky, third natural one.
Oh my
It would
god.
be
Yeah.
so unfortunate.
Or
That's
on-
Like,
absolutely
can I still
alternatively-
use my resist, or what's it called, Indomitable as well?
Oh yeah,
Notable
that's the one.
4th one.
What would be even better? What would
Honestly,
be even better is 2 natural ones, then lucky natural 1, indomitable natural.
Yeah.
Because that will probably happen.
no, I don't know. Only,
No,
only if I have it.
The saddest thing is that the Indomitable is a 2.
Oh yeah. Are we still recording all of this
Yes.
shit talk?
Oh.
This is
Yeah.
fine.
So,
I just remembered we hadn't wrapped up.
Yeah. And with that, I think let's call it an evening. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.